So today we have another review. This time is an Opel Astra. It's from 2018 and it has almost 50,000 kilometers on the clock. It's the 1.4 variant with 125 horsepower and a manual gearbox. As I said, we have an Opel Astra here. It's a 1.4 liter engine with manual gearbox, 125 horsepower and almost 245 Newton meters. It's quite a light car, a compact car. It only weighs something like 1.2 tons. And that means that the top speed is limited to 205 kilometers per hour, and it requires 9.2 seconds to get from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. In terms of the luggage space, being a hatchback, it's more than enough for a family with one child at least. As you can see, we have the carry-on luggage here. You can squeeze maybe like 3 of them without taking out the parcel shelf. But if you do take it out, maybe you can go as high as 6 carry-on luggages. You don't have some additional space on left or right. You do have some covers, but they are not very easy to access, and the space is not really meant for cargo. But at least you have some under the floor storage with a small spare wheel on this model, and yeah, I think it's enough for a hatchback. As for the rear passengers, as you can see on the door card, we mainly have hard plastics, but it does have sort of a design here with some alternative material over on this side, and of course where your elbow goes it has a bit more of a soft materials. But other than that, you have the window control, a speaker down there, and some additional storage space. And that's pretty much it for the space in the back. We don't have a central armrest, air vents, or anything like that. Well, you do have some lights in the ceiling. As you can see, I had to change the angle of the camera because I didn't want to bother the owner with removing the child seat. But at my height, a bit over 1 meter and 80 centimeters, I have plenty of room back here. I have more than 5 fingers for my knees, and as usual, the seat is almost in line with the B-pillar of the car. And for my headroom, there's more than a palm of space. So yeah, regarding the space, is all right. It's a classic hatchback, the kind of car that can accommodate up to 4 people, 4 adults without a problem. But I thought that the floor of the car, or at least the distance between the floor and the bench, would be higher, because as you can see, my knees are quite upright, so I'm not that comfortable that I could be. So yeah, also I'm not able to stretch my legs under the first row of seats. So yeah, I don't know, maybe for a couple of hundred of kilometers you'll be all right here in the back, but I wouldn't go very far, at least not here on the back seat. As for the space in front, for the front passenger, is actually quite good for a compact size hatchback. You have some sort of soft material here on the door card, but here on the elbow area is the same as in the back. You have some soft touch, but all on hard plastic cover. You have some piano black here, but I don't know, maybe you don't touch it as much, because if you want to close the door, you'll hold it like this. You have also a speaker on the door card and some storage space down below. The seat is quite comfortable. You can adjust it for height, and as I already said, the space is more than enough. I have the seat in line with the B-pillar of the car, and I have plenty of knee room. Some, again, sort of soft material here for your knee, and also the glove box is quite deep, even though it doesn't have any cover inside. On the driver's side, we have nearly the same door card, only that it has some extra commands for the electric windows, for the mirrors, and also the button to lock or unlock the car. And the seat, again, as a plus, it does have some lumbar support on 4 directions. On the right side of the steering wheel we have the lights and also a small area for storage. The steering wheel is actually quite slim, but it's alright for the most part. It has physical buttons. On the left side you have the cruise control and the speed limit, and on the right side you can control the multimedia. Behind the steering wheel we have some regular stocks for lights and wipers, and the dials are usual analog dials with a small infotainment screen that can be controlled from the left stock from here. That's the consumption of the car, and you have some more information like the oil life, tire pressure, the distance from the car in front of you from the radar system, and some speed warning sign. Going on right hand you have some interior lights, the button for emergency call, and for the OnStar systems, just a regular mirror that can be dimmed at night, and the central console. It has a small infotainment screen. It's quite quick to react, and it does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so it's alright. You have the climate unit, and as you can see on the heated seat and on-off button, the material is kind of fading, but at least on this model we have heated steering wheel, which is also nice. A small pocket here, some extra commands for lane assist and the parking sensors, the gear lever with the handbrake, some 12 volts outlet, and a couple of cup holders. And under the armrest you'll find some additional space with the USB socket. And now we'll get to the driving part of the review. And the first thing that you can feel inside the car is the comfort level. Being on 16-inch rims also kind of helps. but the suspension of the car is quite soft. It's compliant. You know there's a bump, you feel the bump for a bit, but at least you don't hear the bump, you don't hear the suspension working. The noise level is decent, is acceptable for a hatchback. Once you get to a higher speed, you do get some noise from the outside mirrors and from the tires as well, but that's not so bad actually. It's all around quite a well insulated car. The engine, you barely hear it, being 1.4 petrol or gas powered engine. It's quite easy to maneuver, to get going even at a higher speed. You don't really hear the noise from the engine unless you're really pushing it, but maybe you won't be doing that so often, because after all this is sort of a family car. It doesn't like revving, I don't know, past 4,000 RPMs, so until then, until 3,000 to 4,000, you barely feel the engine. Obviously, if you have some music on, maybe you will not even be sure if it's on or not. The steering, it's quite light. It's gonna help you a lot inside the city when you will try to park the car. But unfortunately, it doesn't get any harder, at least not the way I would like it, when you start to speed up. What else? The gearbox is alright. It's a 6-speed, quite a short shifter. You don't really need to find the gears. It's working pretty smooth. And as well the controls of the car, I mean the pedals, the clutch, the brake pedal, they are working quite easily. You can feel the brakes, you can dose them in the right amount. You won't be braking too hard very often, even if you're not used to the car. Don't get me wrong, you do have brakes, good brakes. The car stops without a problem, but it's just the pedal feel. It's quite light, but it's okay, it's all right. What else should I say about the driving? It's a simple hatchback, a modern car, and that means that it's easy to get used to, easy to understand and to drive. Talking about the maintenance of the car for a moment, being a petrol car, it doesn't need any kind of special treatment. You only have to do the regular maintenance, like oil and filters. You can do it up to 15,000 kilometers actually, especially if you don't drive the car only in the city. Then maybe you can slash a couple of thousand kilometers and do the change a bit earlier. But other than that, there's really nothing else to say. you change the spark plugs at maybe 60,000 kilometers. The brakes or the tires don't need to be serviced as often because the car is pretty light. So yeah, overall it's not a very demanding car. I guess that the main purpose of it is to be comfortable, to have small running costs for a everyday family. We'll get now to 90, so you can hear the noise inside the car. This is it. And now let's get to 110. This is 110. And now let's try to get to 130. This is it. So as you can see, the noise inside the car is it's at a medium level, mostly because of the wind, and some of the noise comes from the tires. Other than that, it's just a regular hatchback, easy to use, easy to maintain. I do also have to make another point about the problems that the owner encountered with the car. It had to visit a workshop for repairs, I think with 3 issues. One of them actually was the easiest to fix, and it didn't impose a problem on using the car, at least not for a tall driver. The height adjustment on the driver's side gave up. They had to switch the lever, so that was a quick fix. They had another problem with the tail lamps, the one from the left side, if I remember correctly. The wires, they were getting a bit hot, and one of them, I think, was the turn signal on the left, actually melted the connector, so that one had to be changed as well in the workshop. And other than that, it had one more problem. It was something to do with the electrical system again, but being a modern car, it does have sort of a connection between different parts, and although it had on the dashboard lots of error messages, when they went to the workshop, they figured that the problem was the brake pedal. No, actually the throttle pedal. So they had to change the throttle pedal, and from that point on, the car was not showing any errors anymore. So yeah, that was a bit weird. But I don't remember the prices on this fix. I'll come back in the comment area or in the video description with the prices. So that's pretty much it. To conclude the review, I enjoyed driving the car. It's not really for me because I'm more of a spirited driver, but for an average family man or woman, it's gonna cover their needs without a doubt. Thank you for watching. Hope to hear from you in the comment section on this video, and hopefully to see you again at the next one. See ya.